There are secrets on a leaf, in the water, in the air, tiny planets, tiny worlds, all invisible. Not a person seems to know, not a person seems to care. There is no one who believes a thing I say. Well, I'm fairly certain that one time or other great thinkers all feel this way. I'm alone in the universe, so alone in the universe. I found magic, but they won't see it. They all call me a lunatic. Okay, call me a lunatic. If I stand on my own, so be it. 'Cause I have wings, yes, I can fly around the moon and far beyond the sky. And one day soon, I know there you'll be, one small voice in the universe, one true friend in the universe, who believes in me. I'm alone in the universe, so alone in the universe. My own planets and stars are glowing. No one notices anything, not one person is listening. They don't have any way of knowing that I have wings and I can fly around the moon and far beyond the sky. Well, someday soon you will hear my plea. One small voice in the universe, one true friend in the universe. Please believe in me. I have wings and I can fly around the moon and far beyond the sky. You called my name and you set me free. One small voice in the universe, one true friend in the universe, who believes in me.
Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Cincinnati. All are welcome, both those here in the sanctuary and those joining us online. My name is John Schlipf, and I am this morning's worship associate. Before we continue, I am especially happy to welcome our guest musician, Les Tacey. Our church is a place where you are free to be your true self. So please bring your questioning mind, your expansive heart, your entire self to this beloved community, keeping in mind that our mission is to welcome all with love, to support learning and spiritual growth, to serve our wider community, and to work for justice, equity, and inclusion. Our special flowers today are given by Mary Tarbell Green with this dedication. This day in history, December 1st. This day in 1955, in violation of segregation laws in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa Parks refused to surrender her bus seat to a white passenger and was arrested, sparking a 381-day bus boycott led by Martin Luther King, Jr. Please make sure to read the announcements in today's order of service, where you can find important information regarding accommodations and upcoming events. A special note, this is the day when 10,000 Villages provides a large assortment of items for sale here. These works of art have been created by artisans from around the world, and we have the opportunity to heighten the ability of the artists to support themselves. Before we begin our service, let's take a moment to wave to the people watching from home, and then rise to greet our neighbors or say hello in the chat. When you hear the singing bowl ring, please return to your seats. Cynthia Heinrich, would you please come forward and light the chalice as I read these words from Richard S. Gilbert? We bid you welcome. We bid you welcome who come with weary spirit seeking rest, who come with troubles that are too much with you, who come hurt and afraid. We bid you welcome who come with hope in your heart, who come with anticipation in your step, who come proud and joyous. We bid you welcome who are seekers of a new faith, who come to probe and explore, who come to learn. We bid you welcome who enter this hall as homecoming, who have found here room for your spirit, who find in this people a family. Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are, we bid you welcome. Our first hymn is number 346, Come Sing a Song With Me, found in the gray hymnal. Please rise as you are able. I want you to know that watching people swinging back and forth with the music is very contagious. Okay. Our congregation supports a number of causes, generally a different one each month. This collection is called Share the Plate. It is our practice to use Share the Plate funds for the month of December to provide bonuses to our wonderful staff who work so hard for the benefit of our congregation. This first week of the month, we pass the collection baskets so that you may directly donate cash or check to support Share the Plate. These staff bonuses will be collected today, since it is already the first day of December, in case you had forgotten that. We also encourage everyone to find a time to thank staff members in person. At this time, I ask the ushers to pass the collection baskets as we listen to Les Casey's music.
Good morning. Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Cincinnati. All are welcome, both those here in the sanctuary and those joining us online. My name is June Schlipf, and I am, oh, we already did that. Well, one more welcome will not be too many. I do want to extend a special welcome to Les Casey, though. It's always a joy to have him providing musical thoughts for us. And I'm going to wave to his wife, Steph, who is also a good friend of ours and was not able to come. She was going to light the chalice, but that did not work out. Let's see, I do hope you had a lovely Thanksgiving, whether it was with a feast, a Thanksgiving Day race, or it was a quiet time for rest. Many of us have a need for recovery, even if we really enjoyed whatever gatherings and holiday rush we have experienced. We may even need time for recovering from just the endless helpful pro tips on Thanksgiving preparation, or ads for wonderful Thanksgiving decor from garden companies. Thanksgiving is often considered a special time for families to be together. You may enjoy this, but also have limits to your enjoyment. Sharon Scholl, a UU musician who was encouraged by her choir, wrote a song for just such an occasion. After all, Christmas and other winter holidays are coming soon, and it is called I Won't Be Home for Christmas. Here are some of the words. I won't be home for Christmas It will be a great relief just not to have to mumble pious stuff I don't believe. I don't have to grit my teeth when Daddy starts to rave, or hold my temper when the young kids start to misbehave. And the chorus goes, I won't be home for Christmas. I can take you one by one, but when you get together, it is anything but fun. I won't be home for Christmas. Don't look for me no more, 'cause I'd be sure to end up tossing someone through the door. And the ending is, I send you greetings. I send you heartfelt levity. I send you love, lots of love, but I'll send it distantly. But what if you have no family, or family is far flung? Well, there is Friendsgiving. There are neighbors. Even so, you may feel lonely. In fact, the Surgeon General has issued an advisory describing loneliness as a public health crisis. It can result in physical as well as emotional illnesses. Dr. Vivek Murthy said, our relationships are a source of healing and well-being hiding in plain sight, one that can help us live healthier, more fulfilled, and more productive lives. He goes on to describe ways of helping these connections happen. You may want to read more of his ideas online. As one gets older, the connections felt at younger ages may lessen or disappear. Also, if you have just ventured away from the family nest, you may have a need to find new connections. One study I read indicated that older men may have a more difficult time with this than older women. They tend to be reluctant to ask for help and less used to living alone. Many have spent so much time on their careers that they find retirement leaves them with no hobbies or friendships. Of course, this can happen to women, but it apparently is much more common for men. Oh, sorry. I got my sheets mixed up. How can loneliness be tackled by an individual who finds it difficult to create connections? I read a recent article, November 21, in the Washington Post called Gratitude Can Improve Our Mental Health. The author, Sam Jones, comments about studies which show a connection between feelings of gratitude and lessened loneliness. Researchers asked participants to think about and write down 2 or 3 things each day for which they were thankful, reminding themselves of the people or pet or higher being who had caused those things to happen. This work was so successful that it is the basis for recommendations on using a gratitude practice to combat loneliness. An outside neuroscientist commented, "This is not an exercise in perfectionism. It's really an exercise in just noticing things that are going well." That's really the place to start. We have felt for a long time that gratitude or thanksgiving, my Mac did not like that word. I had to tell it that it really was a word. Anyway, that Thanksgiving was a good thing, but I had no idea it could help with loneliness. It is especially nice to feel that gratitude itself is a way to improve your own feelings of connection. Another Washington Post article, by now you may know what things I tend to read, was called "The Remarkable Power of Holding Hands with Someone You Love." The author, Tricia Pasricha, MD, reports on a number of experiments done by James Cohen, who directs the Virginia Affective Neuroscience Laboratory at the University of Virginia. MRI scans showed that holding the hand of even someone you don't know can be helpful in dealing with stress. Holding this hand of someone you already feel very connected to is even better. Pasricha notes that hands have a large number of nerve fibers for exploring all kinds of things in the world around them, and can discern very small differences, and also communicate emotions with them. She ends with this suggestion: don't be afraid to offer a hand to someone who is struggling. We're clearly wired for it. Now, I hope you will indulge me and my love of taking photos and the interesting thoughts they lead me to. This is an oak leaf caught in our mugo pine. Does the oak leaf feel lonely? There are no similar leaves very nearby, but the pine does give support. Is that enough? Here are more leaves. Red maple this time, sorry. This time I am wondering about the two sets of leaves, those on the tree and those on the ground. Are the ones on the tree worried about dropping from the tree? Are both groups happy to be in their groups and connected with those near them? Or do they feel separated and even unwelcome in the other group. This is the late season top of a thistle plant. The bud is getting ready. A few days later, the blossom has opened and is beautiful. The cactus plant can't help being prickly. Do you suppose it wonders why animals around it don't come very close? Is it lonely because others fear it? At least it did turn out to be beautiful, but we had to allow it to grow up and bloom instead of digging it when it was quite small. After all, it was a volunteer weed. I am intrigued by the interesting piles created by a variety of leaves which land in our yard. Are these leaves lonely for others of their kind? Or do they feel welcomed by the earth and the other leaves around them? Maybe they even feel they belong in such a diverse crowd. Those are some wonder questions for today. Now, I'd like to remind you of Les's song, Alone in the Universe. You called my name, and you set me free. One small voice in the universe, one true friend in the universe who believes in me. Let us stop here for a time of silence, introduced by these words by Mark Bellatini, and accompanied by this photo of a carving by my husband, John. Hopefully, there it is. Okay. The reading is First Principles. There are red rocks in the Gobi Desert I will never see, and blue waves near the Seychelles Islands I will never gaze upon. Songs are now being sung in a cafe in Singapore which will never dance in my heart. Rice cakes eaten yesterday by Ainu grandmothers on the northernmost island of Japan will never cross my lips. My feet will never walk over Super Bowl fields. My sigh will never be heard at the North Pole. The world is mostly outside me. It's bigger than I am, greater than I am. It's unaware of me speaking here, and I will never know more than a millionth of it. I am simply me, and others are who they are. And together, each of us, small fragments of a great whole, make the world. But no one is really alone, even if they feel lonely. All of us are together, different yet woven intricately into the whole, each one a facet of reality, no more, each one important and no less. Come, silence, and bless us with a sense of our intrinsic worth. To be able to make it ring, but I didn't. Okay. How do we get from the loneliness of a windswept pine to belonging? In my mind, we go from loneliness to being welcomed, from being welcomed to feeling welcome. Once we feel welcome, we begin to welcome others and finally find ourselves with a feeling of belonging. Each week, the worship associate welcomes everyone to our service. Although it seems a simple thing, it is also important. It is important for newcomers to know that they are welcome, no matter their race or ethnicity, religious background, abilities, LGBTQ status, or age. Or, indeed, even when dressed in an outlandish hoodie and cargo pants and comfortable shoes. Comfortable shoe. And then, of course, I have to put it back on. But it's a very nice shoe with Velcro fastenings. It is important for all of us to be reminded of this frequently. We need to be welcomed in order to feel welcome. Doing this explicitly can be a great help. Greeting our neighbors is a perfect time to express the welcome we feel for both newcomers and old friends. Shaking hands can be good for us. Remember the nerves in our hands? Smiles and greetings are, of course, easy expressions of welcome. To build on the sense of being welcome and of belonging, it is especially helpful at this time of upheaval in politics, climate change, and wars that we join forces to support each other in our efforts to effect needed changes. The UUA says, quote, "We will face many decisions about how best to uphold our values, and we must rely on the relationships within our congregations and communities to meet these challenges with wisdom and courage," end quote. Reverend Bill Gupton of our local Heritage Church says this: "We will continue to center love in everything we do. We will resist injustice and inequity, violence and victimization at every turn. And we will do it together." The newsletter of the American Friends Service Committee says, "At times like these, when our work and values are threatened, we cannot forget that our not aloneness is our greatest source of power." Letters I have received from the Sierra Club, the Nature Conservancy, and other organizations say much the same thing, that we will continue working together to make a better world. This may be a good time to remind us of the main parts of our First U covenant. I commit to build our beloved community. This includes loving and respecting all creation, listening with an open mind, and acknowledging all perspectives with the goal of understanding. These are things which allow us to live in right relation to each other and to be indeed a welcoming place. More photos. Now, some more photos and wonder questions, this time about birds. These are much more plausible than the questions about the feelings of leaves. Here is a flock, otherwise known as a murder of crows. First, you might like to know, a PBS article says, crows are very social and have a tight-knit family. And crows also use at least 250 different calls. The distress call brings other crows to their aid, as crows will defend unrelated crows. Crows mate for life. Next. I got my camera and thought about how to take photos as a murder was settling in one tree. At the same time, a single crow landed in and stayed for a time in a tree across from them. So I wonder, why was the crow separating from the crowd? Did it feel less welcome? Had the others done or not done something to make it feel that way? Was it lonely? Or was this just an unimportant happenstance? Now, back to real life. I have a reading called The Quiet Revolution by Vanessa Rush Southern, and it was copyright 2001, in case that makes a difference to how you hear it. I have a parishioner who hails from Iowa. He is amazed by urban rush. He says that where he is from, when people pass on a 2-lane road, they are likely to stop and chat for a minute. If you are in the car behind these folks, you wouldn't dream of interrupting or hurrying them. Not only do you know them and care that they have a chance to catch up, but you know they'll be moving along in a little while anyway, so you just wait it out. My mother takes the same bus home from work each night at midnight. It is the last run for the bus driver on her route. Each night they greet each other and check in on where life has taken them that day. Sometimes, when no one else is left on the bus, the driver will turn the corner and drop my mother off at her doorstep. It is against the rules, but he doesn't like her walking those blocks alone so late at night. It seems so idyllic that people in cars stop in the road to say hello, and others wait patiently. It seems so folksy in an urban kind of way to have the bus driver take my mother to her door at night. Yet it is all quite real, happening right now among those men and women who take the time to build relationships and who prioritize their days, at least in part, by their care for one another. I want this to be the norm in my world. I want the young to be raised by a city of adults who care, and for no one to complain when their taxes are raised to pay for good education and medical care for the poor. I want all this, and not to believe that an ethic of care and of community happens only in Rockwell paintings and in the world of Mr. Rogers. You cannot make me a cynic, because I have seen a glimpse of what is possible. Everywhere there are people who are determined to be good to one another. I want to count myself among them. Let us do all we can to count ourselves as individuals and as a church among those who are determined to be good and welcoming to one another. At this time, I invite you to stand as you are able and sing together hymn number 1008, which is in the Teal hymnal, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. I want to thank Joyce Poley, who is one of my favorite UU songwriters. She started this hymn with just the chorus, and we sang it several times at a conference. And then she started writing verses, and it was like, oh, there's more. Oh, thank you, Joyce. So, may our hearts find refuge in that holy place of love and belonging. As a closing, while the chalice is being extinguished and Cynthia is coming, I will read part of a meditation by Victoria Safford called, "Why Do You Come, John?" And she says, I knew a man once who came to church every Sunday. You may find nothing remarkable about this, but think of it. A man who came every Sunday, and it was not that he lacked other things to do. I knew him only in the last years of his life. A birthright Unitarian, a retired geologist who, when he was not at church, was a volunteer for, and she listed at least 8 organizations. He was committed, effective, clear about what he could and would contribute to the causes that he cared for, the world and people that he cared for. Why do you come, John, in all kinds of weather, when you like the guest speaker and when you know you won't? Why do you come every Sunday? I asked him not long before he died. His answer was straightforward, just like the man himself. I come, he said, because somebody might miss me if I didn't. He said it in a way that was not arrogant at all, but generously and honestly. He was the kind of person who saw it as his duty and his privilege to welcome newcomers on Sunday morning. Not because he needed more friends himself. He had a lifetime of friends and colleagues and acquaintances. He greeted people as they came, steered them where they wanted or needed to go, because he felt it was the right and only thing to do. When people come into your home, you welcome them as if nothing in that moment matters more. May we keep that welcoming spirit in the days to come, and be always aware, as Les reminds us, you've got a friend.
When you're down and trouble and you need some love and care, and nothing is going right, close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes, I will. You've got a friend. If the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind begins to blow, keep your head together and call my name out loud. Soon you'll be knocking at my door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes, I will. Now ain't it good to know that you've got a friend? When people can be so cold, they'll hurt you and desert you and take your soul if you let them. But don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. winter, spring, summer, or fall. All you got to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You've got a friend, you've got a friend. Ain't it good to know you've got a friend? Ain't it good to know you've got a friend?